Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today we're going to take a look at my Game Week 16 transfer plans and team selection. So once again, it's a very tight turnaround this week, so I'm combining the two videos. I'll share with you guys what I plan to do for Game Week 16 as well as the game weeks beyond that, because blank Game Week 18 is on the horizon. It's coming sooner than we expect, so we do have to have a plan for that, and I'll share mine with you guys as we go along in this video. So hopefully you enjoy this one, and if you do, please give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. Once again, before we jump in, I'm shouting out the Christmas charity drive that we're doing. Christmas is coming really soon, so if you've been watching my content all this while, or if you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed yet, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. It's completely free for you, and I will be donating more money to charity, so do consider subscribing. You can check out more information in the description down below. So for Game Week 16, this is how my team is looking like. We're jumping straight into Game Week 16 because my Game Week 15 scores aren't confirmed yet. There's still the Newcastle game to go, as well as the Tottenham game. So I will update my scores on my socials, on Instagram, on Twitter, etc. But for the purpose of this video, let's jump straight into Game Week 16. So for now, without making any transfers, this is how it's looking like. But I'm very likely to make a transfer, and I'll share that with you guys as we go along. So Areola in goal for now. He plays Fulham away. I always knew that I was going to start Areola in Game Week 16, and that's kind of why I didn't bring Dubravka in Game Week 15. And I do imagine that for those of you guys who did brought Dubravka in, you would still be playing Areola here, because Fulham away, even though they just put 5 past Nottingham Forest, is still a better fixture than Tottenham away. So I do have Areola here. In defense, I have Porro, Livramento, and Tsimikas. Now, of course, I'm recording this again before the Spurs and Newcastle game, so assuming both of them come out of those games fit, I will be starting both of them, and then Tsimikas as well. So touching on them one by one, I like Pedro Porro for the long term. Once again, Game Week 16, playing Newcastle at home is not the best fixture, but I do think like Spurs are such a great attacking outfit right now that in any game, Pedro Porro can get attacking returns. And if the off chance that he keeps a clean sheet, I think he's the kind of player that can get double-digit hauls. So he's a player I will be keeping for the long term, and I'll be starting him this week. For Livramento, it is slightly more tricky because Tottenham away is a tough fixture for him. Ideally, I wouldn't want to start Livramento, but my other defender on the bench, aside from Taylor, who's a bench fodder, is Gehi. So I could choose to remove Gehi and use my free transfer on him to bring in a Chelsea defender. But again, Chelsea play Everton away this week. Yes, it's a better fixture than what Livramento has, which is Tottenham away. But do I think Chelsea concede in that one? I actually think they do. And I have a more pressing transfer to make this week, which is Mbeumo, which we'll touch on in a little bit. So I don't think it's a priority for me to sell Gehi. Previously, before Mbeumo's injury, my plan was always to sell Gehi so that I could bench Livramento for this week. But now I feel like I'm going to prioritize selling Mbeumo, and instead of moving for a Chelsea defender, I have one more week to assess who I want to go for. I'm tempted by Reece James, but he's so injury prone that he even missed out the first half of Game Week 15 because of some knee pain. So I think in general, I just want to consider a little bit more, get more information on whether I want to really go for Reece James or not. I think the upside is there, but he's always so injury prone. Or do I go for a Levi Colwell? So I will have more time to decide on that. For now, I'm planning to keep Livramento and just start him against Tottenham away. I don't think he'll get a clean sheet, but hopefully he gets some attacking returns. Let's see. I do expect that to be an open game in general. So Newcastle and Spurs, let's see what happens there. For Tsimikas, he plays Crystal Palace away. So Joe Gomez just had a horrific performance against Sheffield United. Yes, Liverpool won 2-0. Yes, he got his clean sheet points. But his performance was so bad that I think moving forward, I'm pretty sure Tsimikas will claim his left back spot again, at least until Robertson comes back next year. So Crystal Palace away. Crystal Palace haven't been scoring loads of goals. I do hope that Liverpool will keep a clean sheet there, and hopefully attacking returns for Tsimikas. So I don't think there's too many pressing issues. The fixtures aren't great for defenders, but in general, Game Week 16 is a game week where Arsenal play Aston Villa. Spurs will be playing Newcastle as well. So a lot of our defenses won't look ideal. and defenders right now are just so hard to pick. So I'm probably just going to stick with these three. So in midfield, I have Mbeumo, Salah, Son, Adingra, and Saka. I'm not going to talk too much about Salah, Son, and Saka because I'm definitely going to keep the three of them. The three of them are kind of the best midfielders to have right now. Saka has been really consistent, even though he hasn't gone on absolute hauls. He's just been returning and ticking along very nicely. For Salah as well, he's blanked against Sheffield. He got taken off in the 69th minute, but you would expect him to start Crystal Palace, and of course, you do expect him to continue picking up returns. I don't have plans to sell him even during AFCON. I may just keep him and bench him because I don't think he will miss out that much, but I'll talk more about my strategy for Game Week 18 later on. But for now in Game Week 16, he's definitely a hold. Son as well, playing Newcastle at home. So talking about the other two, which is Adingra and Mbeumo. Adingra plays Burnley here in Game Week 16, so I'm going to start him this week. He came off around the 80th minute against Brentford last night, so I do think like he will start this game. He's been playing a lot of minutes recently, but Adingra seems to be a nailed starter for De Zerbi. So I do hope that he plays this last game, which is when I'll need him for, and then I look to ship him out after that. So Burnley at home for Adingra. For Mbeumo, he's a player that unfortunately he's probably gonna miss out Sheffield away because he came off with an injury in the first half against Brighton after he put away a penalty. So that's not ideal, but with a tight turnaround and how close Game Week 16 is to Game Week 15, we will hear from Thomas Frank again, but I feel like Mbeumo is someone that is too risky to hold on to right now. There's a couple of reasons to sell him because firstly, if he misses out the Sheffield game, it's Aston Villa next, then he will blank in Game Week 18, and then later on he will be leaving for AFCON. So there's every reason to sell him now. I think a lot of us will look to ship him out, and the obvious replacements are Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon, and maybe Raheem Sterling if you want to go for him, or if you want to go different, maybe Phil Foden. So there's quite a couple of options in the midfield that we can go for. I'll discuss them as we go along in the tinkering section for the next part. But basically, I think Mbeumo is a sell for me this week. And then Haaland up front, he plays Luton away. Man City lost to Aston Villa, shock result, but against Luton, I fully expect Haaland to get something. Arsenal just put 4 past Luton at away, right? So basically, I think Haaland, hopefully when Rodri comes back now, Haaland will be able to perform better as well, and Man City on a whole can recover from that loss against Aston Villa. So Darwin plays Crystal Palace away. This is the game week that we've been waiting for as Darwin owners, because this week Ollie Watkins will play Arsenal. So there's every chance that hopefully Arsenal keep Ollie Watkins out and Darwin Núñez gets a return against Crystal Palace to kind of alleviate that 9-point difference for those of us who went for Darwin Núñez in Game Week 14. Alright, so there we go with my team. On the bench, I have Archer, Taylor, and Gehi. Archer, I probably will still hold on to him because he's someone that I need for Game Week 18, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. Same for Taylor as well, but Taylor is on 4 yellow cards. I would actually prefer that he gets a yellow card now in Game Week 16, misses out in Game Week 17, and then comes back in time for blank Game Week 18. But that's just what I'm thinking about. And then there's Gehi last on the bench, which I wanted to ship out, but I think for now, because I want to prioritize the Mbeumo move, it seems as if Gehi will remain in my team for a while more. So there we go. This is how the team looks like without transfers, and let's talk a little bit about what I plan to do with Bryan Mbeumo. So this is my team on the Fantasy Football Hub transfer planner. It's exactly as shown in the graphic just now, and I'm going to sell Mbeumo this week. So there are 2 main options that I'm looking at. The first one is Cole Palmer. Now, Cole Palmer, of course, is a player that's really good value right now, 5.3 million, and he has great fixtures moving forward. It's a sea of green basically, and his predicted points are pretty good. For 5.3 million, he's incredible value. I imagine a lot of people will be making this move. But the thing is, I could also go for Anthony Gordon. Now, the thing is, eventually, both these players will come into my team. Anthony Gordon and Cole Palmer. Both of them will come into my team. I'll show that to you guys in a bit. But basically, do I go for Cole Palmer now against Everton? Or do I go for Anthony Gordon, who has Spurs in Game Week 16? Right, so which is a fixture that I think will be better for these attackers. I will have to make a decision on which one I go for. But immediately moving fast forward into game week 17 now, I'm gonna sell a Dingra, and I'm gonna bring in whoever I haven't gone for in game week 16. So basically, if I go for Gordon in game week 16, I go for Palmer in game week 17. Vice versa, if I go for Palmer in game week 16, I'll go for Anthony Gordon in game week 17. So it's pretty much a decision I just have to make about whether I prefer Palmer now or I prefer Anthony Gordon now. But eventually, my game week 16 and 17 transfers will revolve around bringing in both of them. For game week 17, after bringing in whichever one I do, my team will probably look like this. I have Pedro Porro, who plays Nottingham Forest away. Livramento plays Fulham away. Tsimikas has Manchester United at home. I could decide to maybe take a hit or play Taylor against Everton at home. We'll see about that. Son, Salah, Saka, Palmer and Gordon will make up my midfield. I think that is the template midfield that we're going to look at, but I think the template is really strong right now. I don't see a reason to deviate too far away from these players and go for differentials like maybe Foden, etc., because then it just basically takes money out of other places where I want to spend it. Right, so Haaland up front, Darwin Núñez for game week 17 now. Fast forward into game week 18, I am probably going to do Darwin Núñez out for Ollie Watkins. So basically, my transfers for the next 3 game weeks are laid out already, and do bear in mind that this is a game week 18 blank for Brentford as well as Man City. So as you can see here, Haaland is the only player that I will have come game week 18 that has a blank. Right, so I could just very well ship him onto the bench and start every other player that I have. Of course, I'm not going to captain I'm probably not going to captain Taylor. The reason why I'm bringing in Watkins back for this fixture in game week 18 and selling Darwin Núñez is because of that Sheffield at home game for Aston Villa. Alright, so it's going to look something like this for game week 18. I'm probably going to save the free hit because I can get to something like this. I have 2 Spurs players who play Everton at home. I have 2 Newcastle players who there's Livramento and Gordon who play Luton away. So those are already the better fixtures in game week 18, and not to forget Ollie Watkins playing Sheffield at home. So for the rest of the players, there's Palmer against Wolves, there's Saka and Salah playing each other. But aside from that, I think it looks fine. If I don't want to start Tsimikas against Arsenal, I can very well just start Guehi, who plays Brighton at home, hope he gets something there. But if not, this is the plan for game week 18. So my next 3 transfers are pretty much laid out. In game week 18, I do Darwin to Watkins. Game week 17, I bring in one of either Gordon or Palmer, whichever one I didn't go for in game week 16. So let me know what you guys think and what are you doing with your teams as well. Let me know down in the comments below. If not, thank you guys for watching to this point. All the best for game week 16, and I will catch you guys in the game week 16 deadline stream as usual, 3 hours before the deadline. Bye bye.